introductions, beloved parents, brothers, sisters in Christ. Today, in our church calendar, we're commemorating the fifth Sunday after the Feast of Pentecost. In today's Gospel reading, we're reading the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 9, verses 10 through 17. In this passage, we see that Jesus Christ is with his disciples, and they go into a town called Bethsaida. Now, prior to this, we have to look at what happened before this passage. So the disciples are walking with Jesus, and they're going out to the various villages. And they're going preaching the gospel of God. Now, Jesus wanted to retreat with them. So they chose a nearby town called Bethsaida so that they could go there and be by themselves, that the 12 people could be by themselves. Then what happened is that the crowds heard that Jesus and the disciples were going to Bethsaida, and they followed Jesus there. And in this passage, we see that Jesus preached to these multitudes. They say it was 5,000 men. And that's excluding the women and children that were there. So they only count 5,000. So 5,000 men, so there were probably even more than that. And Jesus is preaching to them. And the evening comes, and the disciples tell Jesus to send the crowd away so that they would go home and get something to eat and replenish. But Jesus said to the disciples, "No, you give them something to eat." Now that's a challenge. The disciples came to Jesus prior to this and told Jesus of all the things that they've been doing, of all the things they've been teaching in the various villages. Just like a student will go to a teacher. And it's very funny. Last week, as I was shopping, I went to Walmart. And I noticed this elderly man. And I couldn't take my eyes off of him. For some reason, he's coming to my mind as someone that I know. And then I went to this old man and I asked him, "What was your name?" And he said, "My name is Sorensen." And then I realized that this was my middle school teacher. That this was my middle school teacher, and he wanted to know about me, what I've been doing. I told him that I went to school, I got 2 masters, and now I'm working as a chaplain, and I'm a priest. And he says, "What a wonderful gift. That you went out and you made something of your life." And I said to Mr. Sorensen, I said to him, "It's because of you. It's because of teachers like you who show us the way, who take time to come up with lesson plans, who dedicate their time and effort to mold kids so that in life they could go out into the world and become something." Now here in the scriptures, Jesus, he's a teacher. He tells his disciples, he gives them all the tools, all the responsibilities. And we see in this passage that the disciples came back to Jesus to give them a report of what they've been doing. to tell Jesus all the things that they've been doing. Now, when time comes, when evening comes, the disciples want to get rid of the crowd. And the excuse is so that they could go home and then they could go eat. But as any good teacher, we look into our own lives, and I guarantee you that the one teacher that holds a place in your heart, or your one boss that holds a place in your heart, is a person that was the toughest on you. The boss that was the toughest on you, because you will learn a lot from this boss. Or from a teacher that was tougher on you, because that teacher taught you the value of life. Jesus was tough. He said, you give them something to eat. You give these multitudes something to eat. And what happens? The disciples make up an excuse. Lord, we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. How are we supposed to feed 5,000 people? You know, sometimes we get to that point where we try, but we're not succeeding. And we rely upon someone else. We find a way. And so Jesus, as the teacher, tells the disciples, bring them to me. Bring the 5 loaves and 2 fish to me. And he looks up to heaven, he blessed, he gave thanks, and he broke. In this passage, Jesus healed the people who needed to be healed. He gave thanks in ways that needed to be given thanks. And he gave food to the people. My dear family, that is the liturgy. The people that needed to be healed are us at baptism. When we are born, we're born into sin. And when we get baptized, we get healed of that sin. And then we go and we give thanks to God. And that thanksgiving is the liturgy. And then finally we partake in that body and blood of Jesus. Just as Jesus Christ broke 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and sent it to the multitudes. The key phrase that I want to leave with you all is the fact of giving thanks. Being thankful. Yesterday I was here for a very short time with our Sunday school kids. Grade 10 put on a well-organized Sunday school retreat. And we had a lot of our Sunday school kids come. And the aspect of the subject that I wanted to focus on that conference was the aspect of giving thanks. You know, we should be very thankful for everything that we have. Our old seminary dean, his name is Father Alexander Schmemann. He gave his last sermon on Thanksgiving. And a couple months later, he had passed away. And in this sermon, he started off by saying, those who are capable of giving thanks are capable of salvation. Giving thanks is a very important aspect of the Christian life. Everything that we have Everything that we have is all given from God. And we need to be thankful. And I asked the Sunday school kids yesterday, when we wake up in the morning, how many of us spend at least 5 seconds in prayer? How many of us wake up in the morning and say, Lord, thank you for giving me a restful night, and thank you for giving me another day on this earth? Because us waking up in the morning is a blessing. Us living another day on this earth is a blessing. Many of you may have seen the news of what happened in Syria, where there was a car bomb that went off right outside one of our Syrian Orthodox churches. We live in a place where we're able to pray, where we're able to have our own freedom, religious freedom. And think about the people who are living in the Middle East. Think about people who have to hide for the fact that they are Christians. How they can't pray in public. How they can't have churches in public. But how lucky we are. We need to be thankful. Thank God every day, every minute, every second for all the blessings that He has given us.